All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Go With The Flow. I'm your host, Folarin Okulaja, here with another very special guest. And an episode, I love these types of episodes because this is my first time meeting you in person.
Yeah.
And I've done a bunch of these episodes and I'll have my friends on who I've known for years, but this is kind of the essence of why I love this show. Meeting new people, telling their stories, getting to know who they are. But Anthony Azekwoh is on the show. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on. What brought you to New York? Because you're based in Lagos, correct?
Yeah, man. I was just in London like 2 days ago.
Okay, I'm going there in 2 days.
You're going there in 2 days?
Yeah.
Oh, London is a vibe, man. London is mwah. So I was just in London. My guy's having a wedding. My guy's brother's having a wedding in Dallas. So I'm going there like end of this week. But then there was also NFT NYC as well. And then AJ was telling me that he's doing his housewarming. So I was like, you know what? All the stars are aligning.
Yeah.
I will be in New York for a little bit before I get to Dallas. So yeah, that's where I'm like primarily here.
Nice. And right before we started recording, you made a comment that I want to dive into a little more. You said New York is the most similar to Lagos. Tell me more about what you mean by that.
Man, like I feel like every city has its own vibration. Like it has its own rhythm. Like the Lagos rhythm is very like choppy. London is a bit like, it has this like, it goes flat then up, then flat then up. But New York and Lagos have this very like choppy, chaotic rhythm that it really, in fact, it threw me off when I was here for the first time as an adult because it was like, bro, like I have to get the fuck out of this place, man.
Yeah.
I think I was meant to be here for like 14 days. I only did 10. I was like, yeah.
14 is long.
Yeah,
I feel like
and my Brooklyn place got cancelled on the day of my flight, so I had to book a new place. And you know, with stuff like this, you're thinking, okay, if I'm in Lagos, I'm staying somewhere central. That's like Lekki Via. I'm cool. If you're in London, you stay somewhere around like Soho area, like Tottenham Court Road, like you're cool. So I was like, New York Central, Times Square.
Oh, no.
And everybody has had that reaction. I was
No.
So it was a horrible. I saw things I never thought I would see, man. Like I saw too much. So yeah, like my first time as an adult, it was too much. But then after, I like there's people like AJ. I was like, oh yeah, actually this is a vibe. Actually a vibe. Like yeah. So I say that's like why I mean like with like Lagos and like New York, they're very weird. They're very similar in weird places.
Yeah. How do you know AJ, by the way?
How do I know AJ, man? Through my mutual friend Pearl.
Okay.
So we met via phone one time, and it turns out that like I've worked with like 30% of his family because like his family is big. So I was just like, bro, like he talked about his auntie one time. Your auntie, like, bro, that's my curator. Like his uncle is like, bro, like we worked with, like what's going on? So nah, AJ is a cool guy.
Yeah, for sure. Me. Shout out to AJ. He's the one who facilitated this episode. But so we get into it, so people who even know who you are, can you just give the people a quick background, who you are, what you do?
Man, a quick background. My name is Anthony Azekwoh. I'm a Nigerian artist and author. Yeah, like I think, and like general storyteller. But I would say that just like artist and author is like those are the main two things I would tag.
Love it. And so I want to, again, I did a lot of research before this because I always like to make the conversation worth my guest time. And so I kind of just want to chronicle the entire journey. There's one thing, even before we get into it, is I love people who do creative things. So you're also 20, I'm 25, you're 25.
Yeah, shout out, yeah.
And I love people who kind of go off the beaten path and do things more non-conventional, especially with our Nigerian backgrounds.
Bro.
Everyone is doctor, lawyer, engineer. They're doing something that's so...
You're nothing.
Exactly, so rigid. And so I just appreciated as I was doing my research, learning more about your own story and journey. And so that's kind of what I want to speak about. So taking it all the way back to White Sands. So secondary school, which I mentioned, that's the secondary school I would have gone to if I stayed in Lagos. We moved when I was 9. But I have 2 older brothers and they both went to White Sands. And so I read a story that said you had an English teacher who was at White Sands. I was a writer, and that got you into writing first. What was it about writing as a medium that initially even got you excited about it?
Yeah, I would say that in White Sands, I won't lie, I was a troubled child. I was really just getting into fights and all that. I feel like when you're a boy and you're in an all-boys school, like you're not able to kind of express your emotions in a healthy way more time. So it's like there were probably times I was probably feeling maybe like depressed or lonely or agitated, but like you don't have the vocabulary at that age, and you also don't have like, again, it's like, you know, the blind leading the blind. You're also in this classroom full of other people who don't have the vocabulary.
Yeah.
And so you just start acting out.
Yeah.
So I remember I was getting into a lot of fights, you know, I got suspended. Like I was really just flying off the rails. Like I really was. I understand my parents were just like what's going on? But I think around like SS1, which would be you guys' year 79, 10.
Yeah, I think it's like 10, 9, 10th grade.
Yeah, 9/10. This guy walks into the class and he's like Kola Tubosho, and he's like this really tall man, and he's a writer. And I'd also really loved reading. In fact, I love reading so much that my parents seized my novels because they're like, I'm reading novels too much. Man.
Really? I feel like it would be the opposite. They would encourage you.
I remember thinking like, bro, like, come on, man. So I had to sneak in my wardrobe to like read. So I remember he came, and he's the first ever writer I ever saw in person, because it's like, as a child when you're reading, you're seeing these names on the covers, but you're not kind of thinking of them as real people. It's like, yeah, like you guys are real, I guess. Mm-hmm. So seeing him in person was like, oh, like writers can be real, and like this can be like an actual profession. And he gave us this assignment one time where it's like, you guys should make a blog and like write something on that blog, and that's like the assignment. And that was the first time a teacher was engaging us as one individuals, but also as two individuals who were growing up in that certain age where like the internet and like blogging and writing was starting to take over. And I feel like as I started writing, like, you know, with writing, you have to really be still. And as a kid, I was just jumping off walls, and like the only thing that used to get me like still was reading. Like writing was also this now different form of expression. And I was like, oh wow, like I actually really like this. And because I always loved all these English assignments, like writing and all that stuff. So when I started doing it recreationally, it was like, oh wow, like I can actually say what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. And when I started sharing it, I realized that some people were feeling like similar ways. And I think that connection really just drove me to the medium.
Got it. And that's, I think, a couple of things that you mentioned that I want to touch on even further. First point about going to an all-boys school. So I never, again, I told you I would have gone there. I'm so thankful I didn't have to go to an all-boys school. Because what, I think the combination of all-boys school and also that age where your age is what, like, I don't know, 12 to like 16, 17, 18. Yeah. No one's really mature. Nobody knows how to use their words or deal with emotions in a real way. And so it's just people feeding off each other in the worst way possible.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because it's like, it starts to level out almost. Like around 13 to 16, everybody kind of starts to develop like a man. You're like, you know what, I probably shouldn't be doing this stupid shit. Mm-hmm. And everybody starts to like, that process of adulting was interesting because we're all going around the same stages together. So at the same time, I'm realizing that, you know what, instead of fighting you, why about I ask you, like, bro, like, what's going on? Like, it's 8 a.m. Why are you angry?
Yeah.
Like,
but I feel like that's mature, though. I feel like I don't even know how many people that age. I think it's great that you're saying ages 13 to 16 or whatever, you were able to get that. I feel like for most people, even for me, I probably came like college age. So like 19 to 22 is when I got that sort of maturity.
Exactly. So I feel like, you know, the all boys school, it did just help us because it was kind of like everybody's kind of going through the same thing, and there's no like insecurity or shame or whatever. It's kind of like, okay, we all kind of need to fix up, because at the same time we're seeing some of our mates being expelled because like, we're seeing some of our mates who are doing incredibly well. We're seeing some of our mates getting like scholarships because it was a fiercely academic space as well. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I like that age is done on you that, yeah, you know, I need to fix up. Yeah. I actually need to fix up my life, because if not.
Yeah, so you see how it could go. And then also another thing I love that you mentioned is the fact that it was a teacher that really gave you one assignment that kind of opened your eyes to writing. Yeah. I think teachers could be so important they can either steer you in the right path, or they also work to like discourage people. Mm-hmm. And I think the importance of like educators, especially like, so in American terms, like elementary, middle school, high school, but Nigeria, it's primary school, secondary school. Mm-hmm. I just hope that teachers realize the impact that they can have on kids, both to inspire them to chase their dreams, but then also at the same time, you hear so many stories of, you name whatever very successful person who was like, oh, I was in middle school, high school, and my teacher tried to discourage me, and I was like, no, I'll show you, and then they go ahead and be successful. So I love that yours was that positive experience of, I had this teacher who I looked up to because I loved writing, they gave me this assignment, and that's kind of what opened this door to something else for me.
Yeah, you know Sloan?
Excuse me?
You know Sloan, the artist?
No.
No, I'll show you his work after. So he had like a similar experience, but like on the other end or something like that. And it's like, for him, it's like, that also inspired him. He's like, you know what, like, fuck you guys. Yeah. I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah, and those are the strong-willed people, because imagine the people who, like, they just listen. And there's so many people who could be very talented artists doing whatever, but they're just doing some corporate job because some teacher early on said that they shouldn't chase their dreams. So I love that. And so started with writing, eventually moved into other forms of art. What took you from that first medium to then exploring other types of art forms?
To be honest, it was a handicap. Like, my handwriting sucks. Like, my handwriting is really bad. So, like, when my laptop broke in 2016 December, it meant that I actually couldn't, like, write anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like it's just really bad. And so at that time, it's like, again, like I started flying off the walls again. I'm like, bro, like, because I need to do something. If I'm not doing something, like my mind just starts tweaking. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like there were leftover like A4 papers in the house and like pens. So I just started like drawing like some cool designs or whatever, like from the internet. I'm like copying them, adding my own spin. I remember I showed my mom and she's like, oh wow, these are really cool. And that was interesting because with writing, by the time someone has read your work and it's like appreciating it, sometimes the space between when you wrote it and when that happens, it can be months, years, decades, it can be lifetimes away. With arts though, it's like, oh, I could do this thing and I could actually share in that appreciation with you in real time. That was interesting. That was a new thing that like writing doesn't have as a medium. And for me, it was just kind of like, okay, I like this thing. I'm just going to just keep on doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
My laptop got fixed. I started writing. I continued writing, but I also like started figuring out like the arts thing. I started like just exploring more. I discovered like digital arts because I was looking at artists like, do you know Duro Arts, Duke's Arts? I'll show you some of their stuff you've seen.
Yeah,
like,
please do.
They've done crazy work for like Olamide, like Davido. Like these guys were really killing it and I was still killing it. So I remember seeing their work and I'm thinking, this is not paint on canvas, it's something else. And that led me down like digital arts because again, at the same time, I was in my first year in uni and my parents weren't sending on this like art stuff. So it meant that I didn't have the money to buy canvases or whatever. But then I could steal my sister's mouse and like crack Photoshop.
Yeah.
And then that was like, I would say how I started like drawing. So I taught myself how to draw with a mouse. And then when that first commission happened with the musician, that's how I got my first, got the first cash to like buy a tablet. So like, that's kind of how like the whole cycle started.
Got it, and that's a perfect segue because I read online that an artist or sorry, a musical artist had reached out to you and paid you $60
I need to find him, man.
to do their article. You don't even remember who it was,
bro? It's been almost 10 years.
I would think you would be like, oh, this is the first person who paid me. Like I'm never gonna forget.
Because he disappeared. I was like, after he just disappeared, but I'm gonna find him.
Hopefully,
like,
this podcast will make a clip of this. So you put it out there.
I'm like, bro, thank you so much because I feel like he probably doesn't even know like what he did. Like,
for you, yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And so a few things to delve into there, because we'll get into you working with other musicians. But first, you mentioned you're in your first year of uni, but then you decided to drop out in 2021.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Was that your first year? Which year did you drop out?
Which year did I drop out? I dropped out fifth year. Well, entering my fifth year? Fuck, I can't even remember anymore, which is insane. This is like a hugely like crazy
pivotal,
bro. It's like a life-altering moment in my life. But yeah, it was like my fourth or fifth year. I think it was my fifth year. Actually.
Okay. Why?
It was the last year.
Okay. Why was it the right time to drop out when you were that far in?
Bro, because at that time there had been an ongoing tension between like me, my father, and the school, and I'm older and I understand more of like his motivations to like, because again, like life is crazy, it's unpredictable. And if you have a child, you want the child to have every chance, like you want them to have the best odds possible. Because this whole life thing is a lottery. Like nobody really knows how it's going to land. But at the same time, the university I was in was like really fucking stupid. Like, it was really fucking stupid. Like a quick rundown is that you couldn't wear jeans, you couldn't have like jewelry, like you had to wear corporate to school. Like
a university?
Bro, it's fucking stupid. Like that's what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
And again, imagine wearing corporate every day. This is Nigeria, bro. Like sub-Saharan Africa is hot as fuck.
Yeah, I get it for private school. Like in White Sands, you had to wear like jacket and tie. But that's different, exactly.
You didn't even have to wear the jacket. You know what I'm saying? But but that's like it's a uniform. I understand that for kids, but like you're an adult, you need to actually be able to think freely.
Yeah, express yourself in other ways.
Because you're about to enter like this whole place. Like forks were banned. You couldn't have phones. SIM cards were banned. You couldn't hold hands with anyone. Like you had to be back in the hostel by like 9 p.m. or something. So it's like this very also like you had to go to church twice a week. If you missed the service, they would take that week out of your attendance so you wouldn't write your exam. Like it was a crazy, evil, wicked place. And I remember, and I got suspended twice. And I was just like,
I'm surprised you lasted 5 years.
They were surprised as well, like, because I wrote essays about them that were online that they really, really hated me for. But like, they also couldn't suspend me for them because it now becomes a question of what's in this essay. So the whole thing was it was a mess. And I think at like fifth year, a lot of things had conspired. I was 21. And it's like, the older you get, again, from that 16-year-old thing, it's like the excuse of, oh, why are you not happy? Oh, yeah, my parents made me. It starts to lose its appeal the older you get. At 16, it's like, fair enough. 17, 18, 19, 20, your parents, you're unhappy, you're failing, you're depressed. Why? Your parents made you. It's like 21. It's like, okay, you actually have to start taking ownership of the situation now because your parents are living their own lives. You kind of have to like figure out for yourself. If you're unhappy, like you have to do something.
Yeah.
You can't just stay in that cycle. So that was happening. On the other side, like my arts thing was taking off even further because from 2016, it had been on like an up trajectory. And at 2021, I was now like earning actual money that could like sustain me. And I actually was developing like a team and a business. So that was happening. And at the same time, it was also just like, I knew very strongly that this just wasn't gonna work. Like, it was like, I don't know where my future is, but it's just not through here. And so, yeah, I remember like during the exam season, I was just like, bro, like, I had read all night for the exam. It was 6 a.m. and I was like, yo, what am I doing?
What am I doing?
What am I, like, this is...
Yeah.
I had an extra year at that point even, so I was going to spend 6 years. So I was like, you know what, man, fuck this. And I just left.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a crazy, crazy time.
And how did your parents take it?
Man, horribly, obviously. Like,
especially since you're so close to finishing.
No, I had a whole year. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I had a whole year. Like, I was going to come out with a shit degree. I like, at that point, and my argument was, if you do want to give me the best odds, right now the odds are still bad because now I'm going to finish with like this degree I don't even understand or can apply. And I'm also not even going to get like ranked enough to even get like a good job in this field. So it's like, this isn't, it wasn't aligning, at least to my own head. Because again, like your parents' views and your views are different when it comes to the actual job market that you're seeing.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, I felt that, look, like it's my own life that's on the line right now. So I have to, yeah, I mean, it was really bad. I left home. I wasn't home for probably like 2 years.
Damn.
Yeah, like
So where'd you go?
Bro, for the first like month or two, I was just living in hotels because like it was very abrupt. It's like I've left school in maybe like August. Me and my father, we have a big falling out in like September, and I just have to go. So I leave. I'm like living in hotels, trying to figure stuff out. We're trying to mediate, but then it became clear that like we actually weren't seeing the same page. So I also had to like find a place in Lagos, have like just kind of start my life over like in this new like adult phase. But like, bro, like I just didn't know anything because I was just 21, man. Like none of this was planned. So you know what? Something that's funny is that I didn't even know how bed frames got made. So all my life I had wondered, how did they get the bed in the room? Yeah. Like I wonder, like how do you like put the thing? And I learned that they have to build it inside the room, obviously.
Yeah.
So like little stuff like that that's just how naive I was when it comes to that part of like life. So yeah, it was crazy. It was very high tension. But after like a while, but interestingly, when I was doing all my shows, my parents came for each one.
Because they still love you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, your parents still love you.
Yeah. So that was cool. Like, so over time, we started to like just speak more and communicate more and kind of like go through that process of, okay, I hear what you're saying. This is what I was saying. And now I finally hear where it's like this proper like cohesion, like unity. Cause like I love them, they love me. Like we understand what's happening. Okay, how do we move forward? And I'm really just happy with where we are because it's like, I understand them the most and they understand me the most right now. So it's like, it's cool. Yeah,
and I want to delve into the kind of the Nigerian child and parent relationship. I want to delve into that. But horrible. At this point, were you funding yourself through your artwork or how were you funding when you moved out on your own?
Yeah, I just funded myself through my artwork. And I feel like that also gave them some understanding of like, oh, this guy like, because again, things happen for me. And you know that when things are happening as a child, like you kind of need perspective of like time. And as I got older, I started to realize that this thing happened very quickly for me. But if it happened very quickly for me, that means to my parents, it must have been like a fucking flash. Because it's like, one day you're seeing your son drawing on scribbly papers. The next day he's shipping artwork all over the world. The next day he's telling you he wants to drop out of university and paint pictures and sell them online. It's like, what the fuck are you telling me right now? So I think that it was, so I was following myself through art and I also understood just like how crazy it must have like looked and sounded because it's like, yo, what's going on?
Got it. And so one thing that you mentioned earlier that I love and then also connects to this is you realized that you needed to take control or take ownership of your own journey. Because I think that's one thing that a lot of people feel like they should do, but they just you mentioned that it took you until like by 21 you're like, okay, I need to just do what I want to do. I feel like there's people who are in their late 20s who are still not taking control of their own journey and still making excuses every step of the way about why they can't be doing XYZ. Like I look at myself as an example, and I love that you said that, because I pretty quickly realized that like my parents have a vision for my life, I have a vision for my life, and they're very different. It both ends with me being successful. Really? And I in the way that I've been putting this, and I finally like wrap my head around it, is like, I think in their journey for me, the ceiling is quite low. Just because they don't know how much is capable in this country when you do something different.
Be safe, man.
Exactly. You just need to embrace uncertainty and just do different things. So I love that. And that's just a message to people, is like, yes, your parents are going to have a journey and a vision for you, but at a certain point, when you realize it's not what you want to do, you need to fight back.
Bro, you need to fight back like mad, because two things. One, if that thing ends with you being like unhappy, because it will, like, if it's not your path, you're going to be unhappy and depressed, they're still going to blame you. It's going to be your fault. It's still going to be like, why are you depressed? You get like,
why aren't you happy? Yeah, you're a doctor. Exactly.
It's still going to be up to you to like sort your life out. And it's like, the way I put it was that, look, like at the end of the day, it's hard, but in those fights with your parents, it's like, it feels like a 1v1, but really it's a two-person versus the situation. It's actually me and you are supposed to team up and sort the situation out.
Yeah.
And I wish that we had that perspective, like when we're going through our thing. But it's like now that we are, it's kind of like, okay, there's more communication. It's like, look, like, it's not you versus your parents, not your parent versus you. It's you and your parents.
It's you against the world.
Versus, because you both want, like you said, you both want the same thing. You both want me to be successful. How do we get there?
Yeah. And even especially like perfect example for me is like I went after Princeton, I worked at Goldman Sachs for 2.5 years. Even before that, so my parents wanted me to be a doctor. My oldest brother's a doctor. So in their vision for me, I'm in med school right now. I'm about to wrap up, and that is what would make me the most successful person. That's what would make them the happiest. When I switched courses from pre-med to not pre-med, I remember that conversation in my household. You would have think I told them I was dropping out of school. I got a girl pregnant and I got arrested, and I get all in one.
15 people.
That was literally the way they reacted, just by me saying I don't want to be a doctor.
10 of them were children.
No, literally. And then it was okay. Now I'm going to do this whole finance thing, which it took them a while to wrap their heads around that. But then in the last couple months, I left that to go join a tech startup. So I was like, there's so much in the world that I want to like be part of building something from the ground up. A lot you can learn. Like I have all my reasons. And to them, that was another like, what are you doing with your life? You could stay at Goldman Sachs for 20 years and become a partner, blah, blah, blah.
Princeton, Goldman Sachs, that's crazy, man. Like you were living the African parent dream.
I was, but I still realized that I was, living people would give an arm and a leg to be in the situation I was in, but I walked away from it very happily because I was willing to embrace uncertainty, and I believe in myself to make things happen for myself, where like my earning potential and all that, I think I will make up for it when it's all said and done, just by going on the path that
you can properly max out.
Exactly, and that I believe is meant for me, that I will be happy with every step of the way. And while again, nothing is guaranteed, I do think there's something to be said for putting yourself out there and trying. Because there's a world, and I was just having this conversation the other day, where there's a world in which I never left Goldman, and I look up in 20 years and I'm a partner and I'm really successful, but I know I'd have been very unhappy. But there's a world in which like the life that I'm on now, who knows, I could pivot back into finance in 20 years and I could still be in that same spot. But in first instance, I'm unhappy. Second one, I'm happy because I know I tried different things and I didn't just play it safe. And I'm like, again, trying to make something of myself.
Actively living their life.
And so I think that's just right there, the dynamic between a lot of Nigerian kids and their parents, where we need to be encouraged more to like try things and take chances. And if things fail, like you have a safety net to fall back on and then you can pivot. But it shouldn't be my way or the highway, which is how most of them parents.
And the way I look at it is also like a test sometimes. It's like, if you can't defeat your parents, man, the world is going to be a lot harder. It's like, if you can't go through that, because to me, like, your parents represent like the closest guardians to you. And it's like, to hear that like rejection of your lifestyle is hard, it's horrible. But then if you can like push past that, bro, everything else
it's easy.
Everything else
it's easy, bro. Exactly, because that's it for me. Like I was, and now I'm making it so much about me. We'll get back to you, but like I remember I've since like probably early college. I think it was 2020 when I made that decision to drop out of pre-med. I became so okay with the fact that my parents might not be okay with the decisions I make, and I'm so at peace with that. It's not even funny, and that just allows me to keep propelling and doing different things.
Just pushing things.
Like I started a lifestyle brand a couple weeks ago, and my dad sent me this long paragraph. He was like, "You're so unfocused. You need to be doing X, Y, and Z." I'm like, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that would have like shook me to my core. I read it. It's just okay. On to the next.
So don't worry, man. We'll talk later.
Exactly.
Like,
and when this blows up, and when again it's doing very well and all over the place, obviously then they'll come around and be like, okay, I see the vision now. But I'm happy operating.
I need to cup one before I leave.
Oh, I brought you a shirt.
Oh, perfect.
I brought you a shirt. Don't worry, I think ahead. But yeah, so I just love again that there are so many stories like yours, like mine. You've accomplished a lot. There's a lot to do, but just by being okay to disagree with your parents, you can get very far for yourself.
Nah, for sure.
But bringing it back to your art. So I also saw one clip that you posted where you said you did a painting of Mr. Easy, and people were slandering on Twitter saying this is Mr. Difficult, blah, blah, blah. Talk to me about, and this is a question I love asking any creative who comes on the show. Talk to me about your journey with putting your work out there and being okay with that vulnerability. And at what point did you, if you have, gotten over the fear of the rejection and the criticism that might come with being vulnerable and putting your work out there?
Yeah, I forgot where I saw this thing. I mean, and it's two quotes that come to mind now. The first was, I think, the maker of Parasite, and he's accepting his speech, and he says, the most personal is the most creative, and it's phrases from someone else. And the second thing I think is from another writer who I can't even name because he's really fucked up. But it's Neil Gaiman, but he's really fucked up, man. Yeah. But he said something about how, like, when you have that feeling that, like, you're naked, like you're walking naked down the street, that's when you're in the good stuff. That's when, like, you're making something that can really connect with people. And I really did take that to heart because I love I've made, man, like, probably thousands of, like, paintings now, like hundreds of essays or whatever, but the ones I knew that I was risking, like looking stupid or looking naked or like looking foolish, those are the ones that people have really resonated with. And I feel like for me in the beginning it hurt, but I also just didn't like, my work wasn't attached to my ego, because at this time when I'm painting Mr. Easy, like it's not like I'm Anthony Azekwoh artist or whatever. I'm just this guy on Twitter, man. Like, why are you guys insulting me? I'm just trying my best, man. Like, what did I do? So it's a bit like, it was more confused. It's like, guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. It's hard.
Hey, man, Twitter's a mean place.
You guys, like, getting likeness is hard, guys. Have you guys tried this thing? So it was more like, but it's also like, I'll show you guys. Don't worry, I'll be better, because it's like, what I also recognize is that, people are paying attention to my work, so much so that they want it to be a particular way, as per like, this is now a community thing. They're like, bro, why did you fuck this up now? Do you get? Like, we're trying to see good stuff. So it also like gave me fire, because I'm like, fuck, like, okay, sorry, I got sorry.
I'll be better. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll come back. And I think, honestly now, on a very honest thing, it's harder for me to be vulnerable, because now, like, there's now ego in it, and it makes it so much harder, because it's like,
you've built a name for yourself, which
exactly. So I know that if I paint this thing, it is now more thoughts, which I'm trying to really fight now, because it's like, you don't want that in the studio with you. Like, you want to be able to express yourself freely. But now, for the first time in ever, it's like, oh no, should I do this? Should I do that? And I'm questioning myself, which is something that I'm now having to like actively fight against. But I think around 2020 is when I would say that I really stopped giving a fuck, like, properly, where it's like, I had made this painting called The Red Man and another one, Yasuke, and this is 5 years ago. And those paintings did two things. They, one, propelled me to this point where it's like having 2 hit songs in a year. It's like, yo, this is insane, like, what's going on? But 2, it also showed me that, like, there is a world that I can do this. I can build a business out of this, and I can actually be free from this other future of having to be like a really horrible chemical engineer. So I was like, look, you know what? I need to buckle up.
Yeah.
And so it was like, A, there was the whole like follow my dreams piece, but B was also like, I need to be academic with this thing. Like, I need to be, there's a New York-based artist, Sam Spratt, who I love, and his Tumblr, I studied it. And something he said there has stuck with me for like 10 years, where he goes, if you want to be an artist, like that's cool or great, but look at your friends in medical school, look at your friends in law school, look at how they study. Like these guys are doing 9 to 9, like they're going to school like 7 days a week, blah, blah, blah. That's how you have to be with your creative craft. Like you have to be even more because there's no structure. So that 2020 also is when like my regime began. Like there was no day that passed that I wasn't doing, because that was COVID. And for me, COVID was, I mean, it's fucked up, people died, but like for me, it was a great time because
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
yeah, because for the first time, I didn't have to be in that horrible uni anymore. So now I could max out. Like, so every day I'm waking up, I'm writing 3,000 words. If I miss the 3,000 words, it goes to the next day. I'm writing 6,000. I'm drawing, I'm doing studies. I'm like drawing like 10 faces a day, like 10 bodies. So like, there was a very academic approach I took that informed my confidence. And with that confidence, it's kind of like, even if you guys don't like it, I know it's hard. So like, you guys will be fine. Like, we'll catch up.
Yeah.
And that also helped with my writing as well, because at that time, I had grown to see people insult the writing or what I was writing about, to then accept it and be like, oh, you know what, actually, our bad. You're actually doing something. Yeah. And yeah, I feel like that level of, it just came from like time and maturity to be able to like surpass all those things of like fear of judgment. But now I think what I'm just battling is just like all these voices in my head. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, of, oh, should I, da, 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 da. I'm trying to be freer in my approach.
Got it. And I love that. So like that whole studying what other people do in other fields, like whether it's doctors, like you put in the work in, like put in the repetition in, like reps capital. That's what the whole brand is about, is putting in the work in to be great at whatever you want to do. It literally doesn't matter what medium that is. So I love that message. And then so you answered one question that I was going to ask, which was, at what point did you feel like you could do this full time, which you just answered. So now talk to me about your first exhibition you did in 2021, Homecoming. So tell me that story, because I saw you had a post where you said no gallery would support you, so you had to put your own money behind it. Yeah. So just tell us that story.
Man, it's so funny, like life. At the beginning of 2021, I was still in uni. I was going across galleries because I'm like, okay, I'm doing this art thing, but like I really want to connect with more people and like institutionally. So we go to this gallery with my auntie, and I showed the curator there. I like the space. So I showed the curator my work. I'm like, look at the stuff I'm doing. Like, because mind you, I just had 2 hit songs the year before. So I'm like, come on, man, this is an easy, like, sign me. Yeah. So I'm showing her my work on my phone. I'm like, look at my Instagram. I had no portfolio or nothing. I'm just like showing her. I'm like, look, like, come on, man, you've seen this work.
Yeah.
And the curator's just like, this is okay, I guess. But like, until like you're painting with the actual brushes, you're not an artist. And that kind of hurt my feelings, because first of all, like I think back to, I'm like, bro, I was just 20 years old, man. Why did you take this approach? Like, I remember telling my auntie, she was so pissed. But the second thing was also like weird, but okay, like this is still art. Like people fuck with this. Like I'm seeing them, I'm speaking to them. So you're wrong. I think you're wrong on that one. So okay, 2021, I had now dropped out. Like towards the end of the year, I now dropped out. I'm like, okay, look, and in my head, I'm like, yeah, there's this whole battle with my family going and all that, but like this career thing, I have to make it work. I have to be very serious. And what situation is that? Is that people know of the work, but they don't know much about me. There's not that many pictures of me online. There's not that many interviews. So that means I need to hit the ground running. So it's like, imagine, I actually didn't have a home. I didn't have a place I was staying. I was just like going between hotels and Airbnbs. And I started putting together my team and then planning this exhibition. So my plan was, okay, look, this is September. Lagos people know of my work, but they don't really know me. So how are we going to do it? Let's plan the actual exhibition in December, like peak times.
And everybody's there.
Yeah. And then let's do 3 pop-ups on each month before December. And we just have that be a rolling thing. So September, October, November, we do a pop-up in each month. Because I'm like, you guys must see me. Like, here's some more new work. Here's da-da-da-da-da. And that's kind of how it was. And because, again, no gallery was, like, behind me. Because, again, I'm a digital artist. They didn't really understand. It was like, okay, fuck you guys. One of my collectors on the NFT side, Michael Lugu, who worked with Sony, he owned the space, free me space. And I'm like, look, this is the situation. And he's like, bro, like, I have my space. I was like, okay, thank you, space, gone. Because what is a gallery? A gallery is a space that hosts work. And, okay, I can't afford to have this space for a whole month. But I can do a weekend.
Yeah.
We built the walls ourselves. We designed that space. We built the walls ourselves. We brought the paintings. We nailed them up. We painted the space. We invited our people, and then we sold out. And for me, it was just like, oh, okay, this is something. And then that to me also gave me the confidence to be like, because again, I'm just a kid, man. I'm thinking your natural inclination is to believe the institutions and the professionals who are telling you ABC. But for me, it was kind of like, I don't think you guys are right about this particular.
Yeah.
I think I'm onto something. Because if you see the videos, bro, it's packed with people. So I'm like, these people are here for a reason.
Yeah, they get it, yeah.
So for me, that was kind of like the whole vibe with Homecoming. And it was Homecoming because I felt like, okay, I've left this place and I finally come home. Like, I'm finally like where I need to be to start this thing properly. So that's why it was called Homecoming, because I was like, okay, I fought my father, I fought my mom, I fought university, I fought life.
You're fighting everybody.
I'm fighting everybody. But you know what? I'm finally here. Like, let's actually start this thing properly.
Yeah.
So that to me was like, that show is it's crazy, man. This is like almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, and I love that so much. What you just the simple fact that there's a beauty in doing things your way, and everyone who's like a legacy player, they're going to think that everything needs to be done a certain way. But as someone who's new to the space, you're able to take your own risks and carve your own path. There's something so beautiful to that. Or even like this brand that we're doing, I'm like, yes, we could try to tap into people who are so established and blah, blah, blah. But like the fact that I have no fashion background and my co-founder doesn't either, we just think we're two guys who have some good fashion sense. And we think that if we make stuff, people will buy it. And so far we've seen that. And that's why we're going to lean into like ourselves rather than trying to make it this like the rigid same thing that everybody has done before. So I love that. I love that so much. And then fast forwarding a little bit, because yeah, you've now done 5 solo shows at this point.
Yeah.
You've collaborated with a bunch of different artists, Young John, Shodem Camp, Adekunle Gold. Talk to me about a moment when you look back on what you've done so far that felt like, wow, I'm really doing this. Whether it was someone you worked with, a piece that you did, just talk to me about that.
I feel like the moment that I really was just like, yo, what the fuck is like this year? Because it's like this year is a crazy year for me, because it's been 5 years since like those pivotal paintings I did. It's been 5 years since like that COVID time of me like training. And it's like I look at the work I've done in 5 years and I'm like, yo, I really spaz. Like I really, I went hard. And I think, you know, and that's like the post, because again, I turned 25 as well. So it's like also big questions of the kind of man I want to be, and like adulthood. And I'm like, my God, like I have stories for years, man. Like not even days, for years, because it's like, this has been a crazy journey so far. But yeah, I just think that like the painting I did, I think this last show that I did, The Stars I Followed, and being able to kind of bring a lot of these moments, I was like, oh wow, like, you know, having people who have been watching my work since 2020, interacting with them, like it's a whole different feeling. It's like, wow, like we've really all just come a long way, and like really seen this to happen. And at the same time, I'm acknowledging that like back in 2020, I couldn't fathom that like, oh, my art could be able to like employ people or pay salaries or like take me around the world. And for this to be a reality, it's like, oh yeah, I'm actually living that dream. Like that I didn't even know was possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been, I think this year was the moment where I was like, you know what, fair enough. Like there's no space for self. I was talking to my friend and she said something so fucking funny. I've been painting and like writing. So I've been writing since like 2013. So that's like what, 10, 12
years, yeah.
Been painting since 2016. So that's like 9 years. And she was like, if in 9 years you haven't like, if in 9 years you're not good at the thing, then you probably should like just give up.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, you know what, fair enough. I said, that's so real. Like,
yeah.
if in the years I'm not good, I actually should like just go like study carpentry or something. And then for me, I was like, yeah, obviously I'm good. Like, obviously I'm tired, because like I've put the years in this day.
Yeah, you've put the reps in. Exactly.
Yeah, like so when I have that imposter syndrome thing, I'm like, I just look at the evidence and I'm like, I'll be okay, man. It's cool.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. Again, that idea of imposter syndrome, it sticks with a lot of people for a very long time. Like I have a friend he's a professional soccer player for NYCFC, and I had him on the podcast and asked him the same question of if he still gets imposter syndrome. He's like, yeah, and that's a professional. So it's just so crazy how it doesn't matter where you are, who you are. Like there's just something about us as human beings where it's like, do I deserve this? It's so funny how that works.
I thought I was immune to it, but I was just like, I didn't even know what that feeling was. I didn't know that feeling was imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
It's like, that was just a weird feeling that everybody gets, because I was like, I'm too cool for that.
Yeah.
But like, before every show, I'm always thinking, damn, like, are people gonna come?
Are people gonna come, bro? It's such a real, bro. Even the pop up that because again, this clothing brand journey, our lifestyle brand is brand new for us. But we had our first pop up last Saturday, and I was like, is anybody gonna come? One of our boys just sent us a recap video. I'll show it to you after. We probably had at peak like 100 people in there.
And then you probably see the RSVPs to be like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, literally.
Like,
there was 300 people on the RSVP. I was like, they probably not going to come.
They'll probably have other stuff.
Yeah, it rained. I'm like, no, they're not going to come. So it's just, we always just doubt ourselves for too much for no reason.
Yeah.
But two more quick things I want to touch on in the last 5 minutes. So this is another full circle moment where we mentioned White Sands is where you really got your inspiration, where things started going for you artistically because of that one teacher. You're at a point now where one of your sculptures is at the school, and then there's also an art award named after you at the school. How does it feel to have those things be reality?
I feel like those like events are like individually just so powerful and like mind numbing that it's hard to like process it completely. Yeah, I feel like I haven't been able to process them completely because it's insane.
Yeah, you're still 25.
Yeah, like so it's like, you know, seeing some of the kids like, you know, they see my. In fact, a funny story is that when the kids, because we installed it over the weekend, so on Monday morning they're seeing it, so they thought I died. So they thought the sculpture was like my great. I was like, guys, like, why would they bury me in White Sands? And they put, I was like, guys, come on, man. So it was like, but for me, that was just so like funny. It's like this sculpture is not part of you people's story, and the same with the school was for me. And like being able to kind of go there, because another thing I settled on when I like properly moved back to Lagos was like, okay, look, like, yeah, we're making all this money and we're doing all these wins, but like at the end of the day, if someone 10 years younger than me isn't looking at me and thinking, oh, I can do this, then I've kind of like failed. So, because again, like I had those people growing up. I had people who I was like, oh wow, you're doing this thing so I can. So like definitely have to carry that on.
Love that. And you asked another question I didn't have time for, but kind of like what you want the legacy to be. Yeah. But you're good at this. You're answering questions not even realizing you're piecing everything together. And then there's the last thing that I want to touch on, and this is, I mentioned this earlier, you had an Instagram caption for, it was your 25th birthday post.
Yeah.
And you had two lines in there that I just love so much. First, and it was part of the longer quote. First part said, "Today I'm acknowledging that the life I wished and prayed for as far as the confused kid is what I'm currently living in." And then you said, "This is for anyone in that dark space, figuring things out. It's all possible. Just keep going. Trust the process." I just feel like that's such an important acknowledgement to even make and realize. I think it's powerful to realize that everything you hope for, you're currently living in that. Because I think a lot of people, we dream and dream and dream, and when we hit targets, because we've already created new goals, we don't already appreciate that. Where you are now is exactly where you wanted to be 5 years ago. Right. So that's very special. And so just talk to me about that quote, and then also how you remain thankful while also striving for new things. Because you strike me as someone who, you definitely have already new goals that you want to hit, but at the same time as you're striving for those goals, how do you remain thankful for everything you've accomplished?
Yeah, funny enough, I was telling Obi Asika, like, who is AJ's cousin and who is now like the DG, Director General of like Arts in Nigeria, and I was just joking. I was like, I feel like I'm on my fourth win, man. It's like, yeah, actually, because I've been through so many highs and lows, and on my first high in that 2021 thing, the biggest mistake I made is that I never like stopped to like be thankful.
Smell the roses, yeah.
Yeah, because again, there's just so much trauma and just weight involved. Because again, like I'm fighting this war on many angles, and I have like this show. So there was never time I felt, and like 2 years passed by, and all I did was worry. To be honest, like all I did was just worry about the next invoice, the next check, and it really fucked with me. Then I really did hit like a rock bottom in 2024, last year. And I was like, damn, like, this sucks. 2023, 2024 were dark. And I remember thinking like, damn, like, this is horrible. So I remember last year, like, after like the storm had passed, it's like, you've learned like the lesson. I've been as high as I could have been at that time, and I've been like lower than I ever thought was possible. And so now that like things came back up this year, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna relax. I'm just gonna, yeah, you know what, it's not that crazy. Like it's just business, it's just life. And that really made me like just grateful. So like first, that was the acknowledgement. And like even with trusting the process, it's like another thing I did during those times is that I kind of rested on my own ability alone. It's like my foresight only began and ended with me as an individual. But then in the past 2 years, it's like I started praying more, like started really connecting to like myself on that like religion and spirituality thing, and really forgiving all like the past and fucked up things. And so when I even say trust the process, it's like it's more so, you know, trust God, trust like the universe, like trust whatever it is, but like you have to kind of put your faith in that somehow through some way this fucked up picture is gonna align. I don't know how, but it's gonna. And that helped me get through those times, because it's like, oh, I actually don't have to like put this whole thing on myself. I can actually just do the best I can today, and I hope tomorrow is just gonna pan out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's like my manager keeps on, it's just like, yeah, like you're a crazy optimist. I'm just like, bro, like you just have to be. I feel
Things are gonna work out, man.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow it's just gonna align. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But like it just does its own thing.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's what that post was for me. It was a very like emotional thing for me, because it's like, damn, like on one hand I really am here, and on the other hand, like there's just so much. I think that's how I balance it now. I take that moment, like right now, whenever we have a win, we really, really like soak it in.
Celebrate it, yeah.
Like no more of that, like yeah, you move on, but like it's important, because if you don't acknowledge it, what's gonna happen is 3 years are gonna pass by, 4 years, 5 years, and you're gonna look back and be like, fuck. Like now I look back at 2021, I'm just like, fuck, I had the world in my hands. Like, why was I so sad? Like, things were great. So yeah, that to me is it.
Yeah, I love every part of that. And I've said this quote so much, but there's a Steve Jobs speech. He gave Stanford commencement speech in 2007. This is my single favorite speech ever.
Yeah.
And you just referenced one thing he said, where the first of the three principles he lays out is like, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking back. So just have faith that things are going to work out. And the way I've just embraced that mindset to the fullest, like, I don't know what's going to happen. YBN Corday has this line in a song. It's like, I don't know where I'm going, but I hope I'm on the right path. And that's really just it. That's all you can do, is you can have good intentions, be proactive about what you want to do, and just hope that things are going to work out the right way.
It's good that you referenced that. I love that speech. I had it on replay that year, man.
Bro, I listen to that speech once a week. It's my favorite speech in the world. I love the synergies here. This is great. And then I guess because we're up on time, just final advice, words just you want to leave the people with, whether it's for a young aspiring artist, people who are chasing their dreams, trying to be creative. What's kind of one final piece you would leave the people with?
You know, what's funny is that I never used to give advice, because I never used to feel like I had any advice to give.
Man, you stop it. You better give it.
Now I hear my friend's voice in my head. She's like, after 9 years, you have no advice.
I hope you have advice.
You have nothing to say after all these years. Now I feel like advice is more so, I mean, first of all, having great people around me has saved me just from a lot. Like that, having a good team, like my manager, my product manager, my sister, like incredible people. Another thing is also being able to like work very hard and be intentional, like be responsible, in the sense where it's like responsible for your time and how it's gonna pan out. It's like, there's the faith, but you also have to like qualify that faith with your work. And then it's also advice, man. I think also just being good to people that you see around. Like I feel like a lot of the people I'm working with now, it wasn't even based on a business or networking piece. It was just like, hi, like, oh, you're a cool guy, I'm a cool guy, like, just chill. And I think that has gone a long way. But at the end of the day, I feel like with this, it's just being able to, again, let's trust that process, trust that the things are going to go well, but like, do the very best you can, like, and really take those risks. I think being able to take a lot of risks, like, early on, like, I won't lie, we've taken some bets that really, really flopped. But then some of them, like, also panned out. So I would say that, like, again, a lot of people are in that weird situation of what should I do, what should I not, like, just go and do the thing.
Just do it, man. Just do it.
It's horrible. It's going to feel bad. And they used to tell me, like, bro, like, this conversation, it took me 3 years to, like, man up and, like, have that conversation with my dad. And it's like, when I had the conversation, it was horrible. But, like, if not, we would have both been living in this, like, fairy tale land of both of us not knowing each other's true intention. So, like, being able to really, really, like, be honest with yourself is important. So yeah, I feel like that's the advice. Like, it's hard, it's fucked up, it's unpredictable, but then you can maneuver and surpass those moments. And I think that to me is the best part of like this creative thing. Like you really get to see what you're made of. Like if anybody can discourage you, then like, yeah, I don't know, maybe that's not your thing. So yeah, I think that's the advice.
You do have good advice.
I do, yeah.
After 9 years, I was like, I hope you do. But no, I think that's a great place to leave it. This was a phenomenal episode. I have so many more questions to ask. Next time you're in New York, we are running it back. Anytime you're back, you're coming on the show.
No,
Shout out to AJ again. That's
Shout out to
AJ for making this happen, putting it together. I think you're an inspiration. Again, you're 25 years old. You've accomplished so much. The best is yet to come. You are, again, an example for people who need to take that path less traveled by, push back against their parents, just chase your dreams.
Not me being the poster for fighting your parents.
Please. That's what I'm making you. But no, truly appreciate you for coming on. Looking forward to, because I didn't know who you were before AJ sent me your profile. Now you're a fan. Looking forward to following the journey. My G. This has been another episode of Go With The Flow. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
That was dope.
Yeah, it was mad.
That was dope.